Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of IT Talks. Today, we have with us a multifaceted personality. He's a seasoned IT professional, an agile coach, a public speaker, and finally, a dear friend. Please put your hands together to welcome Ayush Gupta. Hi, Ayush.
Hey Puneet, hi, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You tell. Thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me, and it is indeed a great honor and a pleasure to be on this forum. I have been seeing your channel very active. You have been posting a lot of videos on a variety of subjects, and being an avid follower of your channel, I think there's a lot more to come in store for all of us. So I'm really excited for this.
Definitely, I'm actually equally excited to have you here with us today. So let us get started. So why not, though I've tried to best, give you an introduction, but maybe you can introduce yourself.
Okay, all right. So, hello friends. My name is Ayush Gupta. I come with total around 10 plus years of experience in IT. Started working after my BTech in computers and started working as a developer initially with United Healthcare. Then took multiple roles in various capacities of a senior developer, technical lead, product owner, and then finally into a Scrum Master role. So, in my experience so far, I was fortunate to work with some of the renowned organizations in the healthcare, banking, and insurance space, primarily on the BFSI. So, last 6 years of my career has been extensively with banking organizations only. So, that's where most of the things which I learned from in the agile world and how agile transformation, role of a scrum master, agile coach, and what real value add does it bring to the table. Now that was about my
Mhm,
tech part, about my professional side. On the personal side, I am also a public speaker. I am also a part-time stand-up comedian and
mhm.
also a career influencer. And I try to look out for opportunities where I can give back to the society in terms of what I have learned from my peer network and groups. And I think this is a great platform to be here. So thank you so much, Puneet, for having me here.
Thank you so much, Ayush, for being so humble. And as you rightly said, so that's why I actually invited Ayush here today because, as I said, so he dons various hats, and I have seen Ayush, and just a trivia fact, we have actually worked together previously, and I have known Ayush for more than 7 years now, and he's a great person and always a pleasure to talk to. Great,
Same here.
Ayush. So maybe, let's move on to our next question. So
Sure.
you said that, you have extensively worked as a Scrum Master. Can you tell us more about this role and its responsibilities as well?
Okay. So I will talk about that what's in this role. So as the name suggests, a Scrum Master. So this person is a master of the Scrum. Now, literally, it would mean that this person is responsible for running, driving, and helping people understand the value of what Scrum is, what Agile is, bring that mindset change in an organization.
Hmm.
So, if I were to compare it with a traditional role, let's say a project manager versus a
Hmm.
Scrum Master, so it's just a different way of working. That is, in a traditional IT space, when we had waterfall, we had project manager who was delivering and adding all the things, creating the values in the team. And now that role is, when we have moved from waterfall to agile, it's being replaced, I can say, as a scrum master in some
Hmm.
capacity or the other. So but it's very very different. How, I will explain that. And I quote here that the roles and responsibilities of a scrum master, as mentioned in the scrum guide, illustrates that this role primarily contributes to three different sections. The first section, or the first pillar where the scrum master contributes, is to the product owner.
Hmm.
So the scrum master is a coach, or is a facilitator, or a contributor to the product owner. How? By helping him maintain, manage, prioritize the product backlog, and help him with how to keep the backlog in the active state, how to keep all that items refined, estimated, prioritized, so that
Hmm.
as and when the business needs, they can go and work upon those. The second aspect is where the scrum master contributes is to the development team, the dev team.
Hmm.
Now in the agile, in the scrum, there is no bifurcation between what a developer is, what a tester is, what a QA is, what a front end
Absolutely.
or back end is. So everyone and each one of the team, whosoever is contributing to an increment or to produce some potentially shippable item at the end of the sprint, is a part of the development team. Now the Scrum Master is here to facilitate and help in resolving the impediments, in alleviating the issues, and helping the development team derive the maximum value
Hmm.
and to deliver product of better quality, incorporating the user and customer feedbacks in the shortest amount of time with the highest business value, and hence generating the maximum ROI for the business. Now, the third aspect where the Scrum Master contributes is to the organization overall. That
Hmm.
is in helping driving the adoption of Scrum, in setting up various teams, leading the agile transformations, helping to drive the agile culture in the organization, and also looking out to connect with other Scrum Master in the organization, train, cross train, provide a lot of coaching, mentoring, training, forming communities of practices, and so on in these capacities.
Wow, I think you've wonderfully summarized, in a nutshell, and as Ayush rightly pointed out, so Scrum Guide is the Bible, for the Scrum framework. And I think whatever he was referring, it is right, comes right from there. So anyone, if you want to, go back, I think it's and it's, when I say Bible, it's not a thick book. It's just a small PDF of few pages to refer to it if you're interested more in learning about Scrum. Great, Ayush. I think you've wonderfully explained what does a Scrum Master do. Now, my next question is, and which I get from most of the people, how to actually transition into the Scrum Master role. What are the necessary skills and competencies required for the same?
Okay. So when it comes to the skills and the competencies, I will cover this in different sections. The first one is the core competencies.
Okay.
That is, what traits do you need to have as a person, irrespective
Mhm.
of the years of experience or the technical background which you come with.
Right.
So this person needs to have a very good command on communication, because you're going to be talking to a lot of people
Mm.
inside, outside, within team, outside team, to resolve your impediments or to coordinate and liaison with various people. So communication is on the forefront.
Mm.
Secondly, leadership in terms of, you'll be driving a lot of changes, you will be the change agent
Mhm.
of Scrum in the organization. So you need to have a lot of leadership skills in that. And when I quote,
Absolutely.
that is, you should be having the servant leadership, not authoritative, not democratic or any other form of leadership. Servant leadership is what Scrum advocates to have in a
Mm.
Scrum Master. Thirdly, the very key important aspect is you need to have a lot of patience, because because to bring
Absolutely.
in agile, you need to bring a change in the mindset of people.
Mm.
Many a times your methods might work, might not work, you might
Mm.
be disheartened, disappointed. So you need to have patience, and you need to celebrate and help the team realize the small winnings rather than the
Mm.
big winnings of and those are the real things which you should have. Now these were on the personality traits.
Okay.
Secondly, I'll talk about the technicalities, that what you need to have. So currently there are a lot of certifications available in the market,
Okay.
where you can go and equip yourself with the technicalities, the roles and responsibilities, the typical day, and what all things can a Scrum Master contribute, what all key skills does he needs to have. So that comprehensive training will give you a lot of exposure to it. Third aspect of it is in terms of the experience.
Mm.
So you need to have some experience at least to be a efficient Scrum Master,
Mm.
some background in the industry, at least 5 to 7 to 8 years of experience of working with people, with teams, because you will be handling teams, and if you have not worked as a part of a team,
Right.
you'll not be able to drive it on that scale. So team building, relationships, at the same time gelling with people, and how you can maximize the return, how can you bring the most of the people around you, that would be the second key aspect of it. Many a times I get this question that should a Scrum Master be technical or non-technical. I would say that it's quite a cliched statement, but in my opinion, a Scrum Master need not be technical. That is irrespective of the domain which you are in, whether banking, healthcare, or whether it's a .NET project or a Java project or a support project, because Scrum is agnostic to technology as well.
Absolutely. I think wonderfully answered, Ayush. And interesting that you talked about, certifications. And, so most of the folks that usually reach out to me, so they are interested in pursuing those certifications. So can you tell our viewers about some of the popular certification which are available for the, getting into the role of Scrum Master?
Yeah, absolutely. So how do we get there?
Yes.
That is, so how what to do. So I will try to comprehend this and bifurcate this in different buckets. That is for someone who is at a specific range of experience. So
Okay.
firstly, I will cover about people who are in the starting of their career in 0 to 3 years of experience. Then I'll talk about 3 to 6 years of range, and then someone who is in 6 to 8 or 10 years of experience, and then 10% and beyond.
Okay.
So for someone who is very new in the industry and wants to develop their acumen in the Scrum, PSM, Professional Scrum Master, is the way, is the certification which you might go for. Why? Because it provides you a very basic, comprehensive knowledge of the entire agile and the entire development, how Scrum functions, and it comes with a lifetime membership. So
Great.
you don't need to pay anything once you have cleared the exam. For people who are in the range of 3 to 6 years of experience, they can go for a slightly more advanced, a slightly more comprehensive 2 days of training, which is provided by Scrum Alliance. It's known as a CSM, Certified Scrum Master, which you can pursue, and it's valid for 2 years. Now, for someone who is holding more than 5 years or more than 8 years of experience, there would be two certifications which I would recommend. The first one would be Scaled Agile, SAFe, that is, and the certification is known as Leading SAFe, where it talks about implementing Agile not just on a team level of 7 to 8 people, but on the entire organization, starting with team, program, portfolio, and your solution levels.
Okay.
Now, slightly more advanced of it might be people, and depending on how you have been acquainted with PMI or Product Management Institute, they have also come up with their own certification known as ACP, Agile Practitioner. So PMI ACP is what you can go for. That is another certification quite prevalent nowadays for doing all these certifications. Now, irrespective of at which years of experience you are at what your interest is, what your career aspirations is, you can choose any one of these.
Thank you so much, Ayush. I think, you wonderfully summarized, and I really like the way, so the experience bucket wise, one should, pursue these certifications. I think it's definitely going to help a lot of viewers. I think next, or maybe, one of the very important questions, the ROI, can you tell us about the current career opportunities out there in the market for any aspiring Scrum Master? Is this role hot, it's worth pursuing or not?
Okay, I knew that was coming because at the end of the day, we all look out that, okay, what am I going to get out of it? Out of this investment I'm going to make. Let's say I'm going to do a certification, or I want to develop a career. So first things first, irrespective of whether it's a hot skill, not so hot skill, your learning is the most important thing which one should continue with. So to all the viewers out there, if you're getting any opportunity to add things to your bucket, whether it's a certification or a skill, go for it, because definitely the best investment which you do is investment in yourself. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So now to cover upon specifics on what are the job prospects in the market. For someone who is again in the very early years of their career and wants to develop in the role of Scrum Master down the line, someone who is very starting in their career, they might be joining an organization as an SDET nowadays, because Agile brings up forming teams of cross-functional skill sets.
Absolutely.
So there would be no developer or tester or any QA for that matter. The same person might be doing the development, the coding, the front end, back end, each and everything to add that increment. Now, one can start their career as an SDET if they are acquainted with the Scrum framework, if they know how to work with in a Scrum methodology. So that will be an advantage. For someone who wants to develop and join the role of a Scrum Master, most of the job descriptions out there would be asking for a minimum 7 to 8 years of experience in total, out of which 3 years of experience relevant as a Scrum Master. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to have that relevant experience also, whether you are doing it full time, whether you are doing the role as an acting Scrum Master, or in whatever capacity. You should be
Okay.
able to justify that as well, because just doing a certification will not land you in that fancy job. You need to
Absolutely.
you need to back it up by showing the relevant skills which you hold, whether you are going to add real value
Mm-hmm.
and what is that you are going to bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where most of the job opportunities for a Scrum Master, junior Scrum Master, will come in that range. Next comes the role of a senior Scrum Master, which is typically somewhere between 8 to 10, 8 to 12 years of experience, which people look out for. Most of the job opportunities are out there. And as one progresses in their career, they might go for an agile coach role as the next
Mm-hmm.
ladder for a Scrum Master. Now, this agile coach role is also very fascinating, because you might start as an agile coach for a particular team or a portfolio, and then you might scale it up again to a portfolio agile coach, a program agile coach. You could be an enterprise agile coach. You could be a lead age agile transformation agent. You could be a director, and so forth. So
Wow.
that's where you can grow vertically also in the role of an agile coach.
Interesting, so I think you described it beautifully, and especially, I was looking forward to that, how you grow as a Scrum Master, and I think definitely a lot of venues out there. And one thing also I like to highlight, so for all the folks, you are looking to transition into role, so I was also there a few years back in the similar phase where I wanted to transition, into agile methodology. So I started with an IGP. So look for those opportunities internally, firstly in your team, rather than jumping out there in the market and looking for those opportunities just basis certification. Just look for those learnings. Sit with a Scrum Master, sit with your Scrum Master in your team, learn from them, and that's how I think that's the best way to actually learn and grow.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, the real lifetime experience which you will get, whether you are doing it in a shadow role, whether you are sitting with a Scrum Master, or you are a co-Scrum Master, or you are in an IJP, or you want to simply run a pilot, go to your
Yeah.
manager and just say to them that, hey, I want to do a small pilot for 2 weeks.
Hmm.
Nobody would say no to you.
Absolutely. All you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
Great, Ayush. I think you, in a very short span of time, you have given us a lot of things to chew upon, and I think our viewers will definitely, find a lot of educational insights there. Any closing comments from your side?
Yes, I would really want to say it all to the viewers that Scrum is something which is getting adopted in all the organizations, all the top Fortune 500 organizations, you name it.
Hmm.
Each and every one of them might be working on Scrum in some capacity or the other. Either they
Hmm.
would be having their own Scrum practices, or they might have taken the Scrum framework and given some flavor to it and
Hmm.
functioning in their own realm. So it's a great skill to have, and for especially for people who are in their middle of their in the mid career crisis, let's say 8 years, 8 to 12 years, or 10,
Hmm.
10 years somewhere. It's a fantastic role if you want to get into the leadership roles.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you
So
so much, Ayush. Great. It was so good to have you here. And, so with the valuable insight you shared here today, I'm looking forward to, doing at least another episode with you as well. I would also like, to explain more on maybe agile coaching, etc.
yeah, absolutely. I think this has been the first episode, and I'm happy to answer more questions as we get responses from your viewers. And as per the interest, I am open to any suggestions, or if any kind of consulting or any kind of agile coaching is someone of your viewers need, I'm happy to contribute, and they can connect with me on LinkedIn or any other platforms.
Absolutely, Ayush. So for all our folks, I'll be putting down Ayush contact details here. Please bug him. So he's an expert when it comes to Scrum and Agile, and I think, as he already said, he'll be more than happy to help you out. Great,
Definitely.
thank you so much, Ayush, for connecting. Stay safe, and wish you all the best for all. Keep doing the good work.
Hi everyone, thank you for watching our video. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such insightful sessions. We will be regularly uploading on our channel every Sunday, so stay tuned and like our other social media handles as well. The links of the same will be mentioned in the description box below. Bye bye.